The European Union stepping closer to a ban on Russian oil this morning. Germany's finance minister just saying that an immediate Russian oil embargo is possible. If you check out prices this morning, let's take a look. You're going to see that right now, WTI is down by about 2.75%, down almost $3. 101.77 still. Joining us right now is Halima Croft, RBC Capital Markets Global Head of Commodity Strategy. And this is definitely ratcheting things up in this back and forth war about what's going to happen with Russian oil, but maybe more importantly, natural gas. They didn't say anything about a ban on natural gas, and that's what's the most important part, Halima. That's what Germany is completely bound by. So they can set up the rhetoric here and maybe threaten to do this with the idea that that would definitely hurt Russia, how much they can take in. But they are definitely running a closer risk to having a problem with what happens with natural gas. It's interesting that that's left out here.
Absolutely, they're leaving natural gas out. But if you look at Russia, they have essentially doubled their energy revenue since the start of this crisis. So there is this real urgency to try to close down at least some of the revenue that Russia is getting in from oil and gas exports into Europe. But one of the big questions we're looking at now is the 27-member bloc actually united on this? Hungary was out this morning essentially saying that they would oppose any ban on Russian oil imports. They are uniquely dependent on Russia. Slovakia has also expressed concerns about this. So the question is, are we going to get exemptions from countries like Hungary, Slovakia? When would they actually phase in an import ban? I mean, there's some discussion that they would do it at end of year. Germany said they might move it up, but there isn't a lot of clarity right now on what this actual import ban would look like. Russia sends about 2.2 million barrels a day to Europe. There are questions of, would India start taking more of those barrels? We've seen India back up the truck with a $30 discount for Russian euros. India has surged their imports. And so the question is, what's the ultimate effectiveness going to be if it's a phased ban, if certain countries are exempted? So that's what we actually need to see, is clarity on what the European measures will actually look like.
Halima, explain to me why crude oil is down by 2.7% on this news. You would think if you're talking about a potential embargo on Russian oil from Europe, that would mean fewer barrels on the market. Does this just mean the market doesn't believe it at this point?
I mean, I think there's still other issues hanging over the market. Obviously, the concern about China with COVID lockdowns. But I do think the market is literally looking to see what the actual clarity on the EU policy is going to be. Because, again, this morning we had several members, led by Hungary, out there saying they would oppose an EU ban. So the question is, what does it look like if you don't have full unity on this issue? Do you have carve-outs? What's the timing? There's some reports that Italy would like just a price cap as opposed to a ban. A price cap would essentially say to Russia, we're going to give you a major haircut in terms of how much oil the price of oil, but we're still going to take your oil. So that's the problem. We simply don't know what the details of this ban would look like. And the other wild card, though, is how would Russia actually respond to this? Last week, we saw cutoffs to two countries for natural gas. Would they potentially start weaponizing more energy supplies if Europe moved forward with such a ban?